Alice Ball was a chemist who developed the most effective treatment for leprosy that was available in the early 1900s. When she was just 23, she became the first woman and the first African American to graduate from the University of Hawaii with a master's degree. Then she went on to be the first female and first African American chemistry professor there. Before her treatment method came out, people with leprosy were largely stigmatized, quarantined, or isolated, and expected to die. And it had been like that before BC turned into AD. There was a leper colony there on the Hawaiian island Molokai. And in the roughly 100 years between 1866 and 1969, about 8,500 men, women, and children with leprosy were exiled there and declared legally dead. The best treatment for it before Alice came around was chalmugra oil, which comes from the seeds of a chalmugra tree. But there was a lot of problems with it. It was too sticky to be used topically, and it was too viscous to be injected. If you injected it anyway, it would ball up under the skin, forming blisters like bubble wrap, and it wouldn't be absorbed into the body. And it tasted so bad that patients who tried to swallow it usually vomited it up. And that same year she graduated, she developed her technique for making chalmugra oil injectable. Basically, she figured out a way to mix oil and water by changing the oil so that it was water-soluble and more injectable. But she died the very next year at the age of way too damn early at 24 before she could ever publish a paper on it. It may have had to do with chlorine gas exposure when she was teaching a lab during World War I, but her cause of death is unknown. And if you've been following along this month, you may be able to guess what happened next. The dean of her college, Arthur L. Dean, knew of her work, took it over, published about it, and didn't give her any credit. The chump even named it the Dean Method. So it wasn't until 6 years after her death when in 1922 she was finally recognized for her work. She was briefly mentioned in a journal article by her colleague Dr. Harry T. Hallman, who called it the Ball Method throughout, writing, "I cannot see that there is any improvement whatsoever over the original technique as worked out by Miss Ball."